The late 90s and early 2000s were a great time growing up. The movies were great, the TV shows were great, the music was great, the fashion was... the video games were amazing. And out of all of those great games, one of the absolute best was the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. Those games were super influential on me as a child. It would shape a lot of my childhood memories. It would even go on to shape my music taste today. But beyond all of that, these games were just really good. There's nothing like the excitement of landing those cool tricks like a double heel flip to a nose manual to kick flip to nose manual to sal flip to manual to BS board slide to kick flip to 50-50 to heel flip to nose manual to 360 varial McTwist. Another part of what made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series so much fun was just the funny culture of it all, from hallucinating hobos to the "you suck" out of bounds screens. The games were also just really easy to get into as a kid. The tricks made sense, the buttons made sense, it was all fast-paced and really fun. And also it just had an incredible replayability factor, as you could just play over and over and over and over again without getting tired of it. But what these games really meant for me was a way to hang out with my family. I had cousins around my same age, and we put so many hours into these games. These games were also a way for me to be able to bond with my sisters, who, for some reason, would play the games with me, and it just felt so special to be doing something that I loved with them. I finally got around to playing the remastered 1 and 2, and there are some great parts to it and some less great parts to it. One of the great parts of it is getting to re-experience that feeling of landing those sick combos and getting to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater again. Plus, with the upgraded graphics, it helps to relive how the games looked as a kid. Having the combination of 1 and 2 is really great, because then it's not just getting to replay the first or the second, but having both. And one of the great parts that I wasn't expecting was mixing that old feeling of the music with the levels, and the new music and new skaters and things like that. But apart from all of those great things, the game's just kind of lacking anything additional, really. There's a create a park mode and an online mode that kind of fall flat in adding anything to the game, really. Plus, 1 and 2 are very short games, and with those 2-minute runs that worked well in the late 90s and early 2000s, feel more like an arcade-style game rather than a full-fledged game. Plus, with the lack of some of the iconic songs from the original games, just misses that overall feeling of the original. So here I am, growing older all the time, and the games just don't feel the same way that they used to. And a lot of that is not the game's fault, but more of a personal thing, as I feel a detachment from that childhood skater fantasy that I felt in the early 2000s. But I don't feel that much difference between playing these and playing the originals, and honestly, playing them on the Nintendo 64 and the PS2 still feel more nostalgic to me because of the graphics and the music and everything. And also, just with 20 years passing by, I'm not a kid in a family now, but an adult, and it doesn't feel the same. But this isn't a problem with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered. This is a problem that I have with all games that are remastered. Because no matter how good those remasters are, you can never relive the feeling of experiencing that game for the first time. This isn't a dig at remasters or remakes, because they're an awesome opportunity to not relive the moments, but bring back the memories. They're also an awesome opportunity for people who didn't get to experience the game for the first time, or for the game to really be actualized to its creator's intentions. But still, those games can't bring you back to those memories with your cousins or your sisters or whoever you did play the games with. Because no matter what, you're going to find yourself playing these remakes and remasters at a different place at a different time in your life. But a lot of what makes games from this time period so great is lost in games becoming a more individual entertainment experience rather than a communal experience in the living room. But while games are more individual, we found a way to share them through online gaming, streaming sites like Twitch, and social media helping to create a communal sense of experiencing a game with something much larger than a couch, so we find ourselves in huge fads of games like with Fall Guys and Among Us. In that, I guess the message of the video really is appreciating a game for what it is while it's happening. Love the games you play and who you get to play them with, because before we know it, we grow out of that moment and miss what special moments they were.